I've been playing sports and cooking food my entire life. Now I want to take you on an incredible journey to meet some outstanding athletes, try some awesome recipes with a side of tantalizing conversation. I'm Jen Heasley. This is Jen Heasley's Cooking with the Pros. So, who do you want in your kitchen on game day? So recently I was in Ashburn, Virginia, and I was there to cater a meal at a football camp. While I was there, I had the opportunity to meet Shawn Springs, former NFL player. He retired with the Redskins. He's actually also an alumni of the Ohio State. It's okay though, he's here because he's awesome, he's grounded, so he's one of my guests today. My other guest is a very good friend, Craig. We call him Dr. Craig because he's a big Redskins fan, so he'll be joining me in the kitchen as well. And I'm also going to share with you some ways to possibly simplify some of my recipes. After I left the camp, I went up to New York for my niece's graduation, and my friend Colleen, she told me that some of my recipes were a little too difficult, maybe a few too many ingredients, so I promised her I would simplify some of the recipes so she could do it real quick when she gets home because she's a flight attendant, so I understand that trauma. So that's my goal today. I'm going to bring you Shawn Springs, my good friend Dr. Craig, and some simplified recipes that you'll enjoy. So I'm going to start with a side dish that I'm going to prepare for my overall meal. And what it is lemon pesto pasta. Now, I told you that my goal is to simplify my recipes for my girl Colleen up in New York. Even though I've made my own homemade pesto, which I use basil, pine nuts, olive oil, garlic heads, and some Parmesan, she does not have to do that, Colleen. You don't have to do it, girl. Go to the store and get you some pre-made pesto. Just go into your regular Italian food section and there's a plethora, a collection of different pestos you can use. What I'm going to do is mix my pesto with some mayonnaise, some red onion, and some parsley, and then I'm going to throw in some red tomatoes to add a little color and a little flavor. So I already have my pre-done pasta. My kids complain that I often make too much pasta, which is true. I don't know how to downsize. And there's only 3 of us, so I don't know how that works. So I'm going to use my little ziti, which I made yesterday, and I'm going to whisk together basically 1 cup of my homemade pesto, which is delicious. With my pesto, I'm going to add a cup of mayonnaise. And I want to tell you, if you choose to make your own pesto, it's probably best. We have a discount grocery store right near where I personally live, and typically their produce is outstanding, cost efficient, and it's a great way to reduce your costs. And it's also, what I believe, a good way to increase, because typically they have an expansion as far as the number of vegetables they have and herbs, so you can broaden your horizons on things you might want to cook. So I suggest researching some of your local discount grocery stores. All right, so I have my pesto, my mayonnaise, and my parsley. I'm mixing it together. My little dressing for my pasta. And to this, I'm going to add a lemon. And what lemon does with pesto is it brightens the flavor. And so, there we go. I didn't bring my whisk, sorry. So I'm going to add the juice of 1 lemon. I like to hold my hand underneath it so that I don't get the seeds in it. There we go. And another, a half. All right. So as I said in the introduction, I met Shawn when I was at a football camp down in Ashburn, Virginia. And we were talking. He's a really very intelligent guy, but he has a lot of business things he has going on. So once he's on camera with me, I'm sure he'll talk about that. But the thing that I found really endearing about Shawn was he was extremely down to earth and very grounded, and we had a lovely conversation. All right, so I'm going to add my mixture on top of my pasta. And the next step is my red onion. I always go with the Vidalia. That's my personal favorite. I'm going to mix this together. There we go. Now, again, I would like to reiterate that Shawn is an Ohio State alumni, but that's okay. As this upcoming year, I'm hoping that when Penn State and Ohio State play one another, perhaps we can have some kind of wager. We'll see what that might possibly be. So I'm confident that we will become the victors. We will come out as the victors. All right, so I have my dressing mixed in. And the final step, and we will come right back, I'm going to add some red cherry tomatoes. I'm going to slice these up, I'm going to throw them in, and then I'm going to put this into the refrigerator to chill. And I'll come back and we're going to start with our mushrooms, stuffed mushrooms. This is going to be our appetizer. And my man, Dr. Craig, is going to be with me, so look forward to the stuffed mushrooms. All right, as I promised you, I'm going to do some stuffed mushrooms as my appetizer, but I want to introduce to you a very special person in my life, Dr. Craig.
Thank you.
Dr. Craig is actually a good family friend. His daughter, Madeline, and my daughter are very close friends. And his wife and I have taught together for many, many, many years. And he is a huge Redskins fan, as well as a big cook.
Big cook.
Craig is one of the people, like, they live right down the street from me. So anytime I'm sampling recipes, who do I come to?
Me. That's a great thing.
He's very happy about it. And then I call him and I stalk him about this. He actually liked what I've made. And he's very candid. We've been candid about...
Brutally honest, yes.
Oh my gosh. We'll call brutally honest. So I think we've only had one bad dip, right?
Yes.
It wasn't bad.
No.
It just didn't match the meatball.
Right. That's right. It was a meatball dip, right, yes.
So it just didn't match the meatball. So Craig, do I get an A+?
Yes, definitely.
All right. So Craig is my sous chef for right now, and he and I together are going to make some stuffed mushrooms. Craig is going to start with...
Mushrooms.
And our...
Flour and breadcrumbs.
Yes.
Egg wash.
Yes.
Flour and breadcrumbs.
Right. So we have our little dredging station, but again, my goal is to make it easier for the home cook. So as opposed to you having to use a dish, because I really hate washing dishes, we're going to use this. I do, and you know I do. We're going to use a Ziploc bag. So he's going to throw the mushrooms in the Ziploc. He's going to shake them around. He's going to throw them the egg, and then he's going to throw them back into the other Ziploc. So there you go. And Craig and his wife both are big cooks. So I have a great deal of faith in Craig's ability right now.
Yes, this is very difficult.
So, all right, Craig, as a big Redskins fan, tell me, when did you start your love affair with the Washington Redskins?
Oh, a long time. 1969, actually. First year of Vince Lombardi, yes. Used to live in Carlisle, and so we started going to watch practice.
Nice.
Yeah.
And now we're frying them. So, okay, so 69. So how many games do you think you've gone to over the years?
I don't know. A lot. Probably, I try to get down as often as possible, let's put it that way. Sometimes it's tough, but yeah.
Okay. And also, I forgot, they also have a son, Austin. I forgot to include him, and he's a big Redskins fan too.
Well, yes he is, yeah. He's followed my footsteps.
There we go, as any good child should.
Exactly.
And Craig is also a big Penn State fan. I just want to say that because Shawn will be here soon, and he is a fellow Penn State lover. He had season tickets for many, many, many years.
Many years, yes.
Many years, and then they send a child to college. So, see how that works? Your finances get cut down once your kid goes to college.
Yes.
Right. So Craig is doing this. So we're throwing them into our vegetable oil. You're going to fry the mushrooms over a medium 350 degree temperature. Now, Colleen, back to you. If you want to simplify this, you don't have to fry the mushrooms through a dredging station. You can throw the mushrooms into a pan heated with some olive oil, some garlic, maybe some parsley thrown in there. Heat your mushrooms up, and then you're going to plate them the same way I'll plate them. You're going to stuff them with the cheese, top them with some marinara, and then a little bit of Parmesan cheese on top of it. I use mozzarella and Parmesan. That way it does cut back on one step that you would have to do, so it's not as difficult as, say, the frying and then all of that. But my daughter Paige agrees that the frying is definitely the best way to go. All right, so I'm going to turn these, and once they're fried, you just want to get them a little brown, a little crispy. Once you fry them, then you throw them onto a plate lined with a paper towel so that you can, remove a little bit of the oil. And then I'm going to stuff them with some shredded mozzarella cheese. I'm going to top them with some marinara sauce and then put a little bit of the Parmesan cheese on top of it. All right. So Dr. Craig, how do you feel about Penn State season this year?
I'm looking forward to it. It's been a tough year, but I think things are looking good. I think Bill O'Brien's going to do a good job. I do. I'm looking forward to it.
All right. I'm going to pull these babies out. Dr. Craig, you're doing an excellent job.
One more dish?
Yes, a few more. All right, I'm going to pull them out. And if you wanted to do just a flour, an egg, and then in the final course, just with the breadcrumb at that point, you could do that as well. So either way you want to do it, you want to get the same result. So now the next step I would do is I'm going to take the mushrooms, I'm going to plate them in my little baking dish. And I've already lined the bottom of the baking dish with some marinara sauce. And then I will throw in my pre-shredded mozzarella. And again, I just go to the store, get some shredded mozzarella. I do not shred my own mozzarella, okay? That is too much work. So I'm going to throw this in here. And then you're going to throw your mushrooms into the oven, 350 degrees for about 15-20 minutes. You want to make sure that all of your cheese is melted, nice and gooey. And you pull it out and you're good to go. So I will be coming back to make the main course of my meal, which is some meatball sliders. And it's going to be on a homemade garlic knot. But again, it'll be simple with some store-bought pizza dough. And Craig did taste one of the meatballs in advance. And what did you feel about that?
Excellent. I want another one.
All right, so I am going to finish this up and we will have some delicious meatball slider sandwiches in a few. So I am now ready to make the main part of our meal, and I'm here with Shawn. Everyone please pay attention to the color that he's wearing. He wants to act like it's not red, but...
It's not the true scarlet.
Okay, whatever. It's not the true scarlet, but he has made a conscious choice to wear red today.
I'm sorry, I apologize. No, I forgot that I was going to be on the Penn State set, so.
Penn State set, okay. So Shawn, are you excited to try to start this final part of our meal?
I'm excited and a little nervous, you know. This is, you know, it's a tough assignment trying to roll the dough in my hand.
This is new territory for you.
New territory.
New territory. All right, what we're doing is we're making meatball sliders, all right? And you're going to, again, to make it simple and easy, my goal is to bring down the dramatic factor of preparing food. So I bought some store-bought pizza dough, but you have to get thin crust. Not the thick, you have to get the thin crust. And Shawn is going to cut his little loaf of pizza dough into 6 pieces. And then he's going to roll them in his hand very tightly. And then we're going to wash it with a butter mixture that has some garlic salt, some dried oregano, and some dried parsley. Can you handle the task, Shawn?
I think I can.
Okay, good job. All right, so he's going to come over here. He's going to cut it in half, and then he's going to quarter it into 3/3. While he does that, I'm going to prepare our meatballs. And what I have, because I normally, when I make my own meatballs, I use a mixture of ground beef and ground pork, which I use the spicy ground pork. But Shawn is not a fan of the pork, so out of respect for my friend Shawn as my guest, I'm only going to use the ground beef. With my ground beef, I actually have already sauteed some garlic, red onion, and parsley. And I'm going to put that into my meat mixture. And I sauteed it with a little bit of olive oil and butter, and I threw some salt into it. Nice job. All right, you're going to...
now roll it, okay.
Now you're going to bottom up. Okay. Bottom, there you go, good job.
And place them on the pan?
Huh? And place them on the baking sheet.
Okay, on the baking sheet. Okay.
See, and you didn't think you had this skill level. So I have my vegetables mixed into my ground beef, and now I'm going to throw in some ground Parmesan cheese. And this is about a ½ cup. And then I'm going to throw in some dried breadcrumb. Well, breadcrumb's dry. Throw them about 3/4 cup. Oh my gosh, you know what I don't have? I don't have my eggs. I don't have my eggs. Hold on. And I'm going to add to that 1 egg. Or you could add 2, either way. All right. Okay, so Shawn, that is how I make my meatballs. So I'm going to mix this together, roll them up, and then I fry them. Again, to make this simple, Colleen, you do not have to fry your meatballs. You can throw your meatballs into a baking dish, throw them in the oven like 350. To avoid the frying, maybe avoid a few calories if you want to. Okay.
That's always good to watch your calories.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay.
Okay, Offset, we talked about how you like Paula. Do you like her style of cooking, or you just, what do you like about her exactly? Because she is not low-cal.
She's not low-cal.
Well, she's low-cal now, but...
But, you know, I think the dessert part, just everything, we know it's buttery and flavory, and I just love the way she just makes her desserts.
Okay.
I have a sweet tooth, I have to admit.
Oh, okay. We're not doing dessert today, but we're doing a drink. So that's important.
Right.
All right. Now Shawn is going to wash the pizza dough with a mixture of the butter and the spices. So he's going to use a little brush and brush it together. All right. So I met Shawn again at the Ashburn Youth Football League camp.
Yeah, it was actually the Shawn Springs football camp. It was my camp.
Shawn Springs football camp. You know what, Shawn? When I got there, I was really impressed with how it was a very well organized camp. And the kids were really, I thought it was great.
Well, I think Ashburn being one of the largest youth football leagues, the coaches there, the whole staff who put it together, Troy Cromwell, who's a Penn State guy, and all the guys do a great job of organizing, and everyone who is there, the 4 high schools that participate, everyone who's there, they do a great job, and it's all about the kids, and that's what it's all about.
Right. I mean, Troy, who he mentioned, who's the president of the league, drove me around. Like, they want to make you drive the golf cart, which I thought was a little ridiculous, but he drove me from field to field, and the rotation of like the kids went from coach to coach. They knew exactly what they had to do. It was well done. So
I'm very organized.
How many years is this, Shawn?
This is my 5th year of the camp, and we usually have between 300 and 400 kids each year. A lot of kids, and And you know, this year will be the first graduating class of the camp. These guys will be seniors. The little boys, they were little boys when they started in camp, and now they're seniors in high school. And we anticipate probably having at least 20 kids get scholarships from that who play from the first camp.
That is incredible.
Maybe a few Ohio State guys, no Penn State guys, all Ohio State.
Yeah, okay, Shawn. And at any rate, if Troy has anything to say, and some of the other Penn Staters that were coaching, thank you, because Keith Goganis was there, DJ Doge, Andre Collins was there. So if any of the Penn State coaches, all right, so
great guys.
No, they are. They were awesome. It was good. I had a good time. It was awesome. All right, let's talk briefly about, if you feel comfortable, what do you think about the rest of the season? How do you feel about RG3?
I think he's a very talented kid. What he did at Baylor, his success he had in college should translate over into the NFL, but just never know. They got to get him a line. I think with the way he can run and evade the pass rush, I think he should do well in the NFL, but it might take time.
Right.
And he's a much better passer than most people know about it. The guy can really throw, but he's so fast, everyone think of him as a running quarterback.
Right. I mean, he was impressive in college. I mean, I was shocked whenever because that's not something that I typically watch, so I was really impressed with a couple games that I did see him play.
And you know, his maturity and the way he handles himself. I heard him interview a few times, and he's well-spoken. He's just a good guy. You know, obviously his father was in the military, so you know he has a discipline there. And,
there's some structure there.
A little structure.
Little structure.
Right.
And so tell us now, I know when we were at the camp, we talked briefly that you have like a trucking company, you have some trucks. What are the different things you're into now? I'm an entrepreneur. I like to call myself a serial entrepreneur. Oh, serial entrepreneur. Well,
I have a trucking company, and I have a new helmet technology that's coming out. Hopefully, I don't think you can ever get rid of concussions completely, but I think reduce the impact in the game and the head trauma, and hopefully reduce the concussions that we're getting on the football field today.
Yeah, because it seems to be a big issue now.
Well, it is a big issue, and obviously something needs to be done. And I've been working on this project for 2 years. I'm very excited about it.
Oh, good.
And hopefully you get to see a new product in like another 2 more months.
That's awesome. It's very nice. All right, so
I hope I did a good job.
You did an excellent job. And what these little rolls represent, like if you go to an Italian restaurant and you see the garlic knots, which are probably one of my most favorite things from an Italian restaurant, that's what I'm trying to replicate here. But again, for my friend Colleen, if you do not want to actually go out and buy the pizza dough, you could simply get a store-bought roll, like a potato roll or some kind of smaller like dinner roll, and just brush it with the same mixture that we had, the butter, the garlic salt, the dried oregano, and the dried parsley. Brush the top of the roll, throw it in the oven for 10-15 minutes, you can get the same result. You're not going to get the pizza result, of course, but you're going to get the crispiness and the tastiness that you would have from a garlic roll. What I'm doing is balling up our meatballs. See how talented I am?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how you like they're all perfectly even. Are you like pinching off? How do you're such a good cook, but how do you know? How do you measure it out? How about an amateur like myself?
Well, you know what? Actually, at home, my kids, we use an ice cream scoop.
Okay.
So it's even for my kids when my kids are cooking with me. But just, when you've cooked a long time, and I know that Dr. Craig is also a meatball maker, like you just get a sense in your hands, how much you have, and you pinch it off and you just roll it in, counterclockwise. And that's what you get. Okay. All right, so Shawn is going to throw the bread into the oven, 350, and we're going to do it for about 15-20 minutes. I'm going to fry the meatballs, but again, you don't have to fry the meatballs. You can bake them. And we're going to fry them. We're going to throw them in some marinara sauce, and I'm going to pull some sliders together with some pasta salad, and then we're going to come back and actually make a drink, which is a limoncello, which is a traditional Italian drink. So Shawn and I and Dr. Craig will be right back. So, as you know, typically I like to end my shows with a drink, and the limoncello is a traditional Italian drink, so that's what we prepared. They've already been sampling, so I'll tell you what we've made. You take some vodka, some limoncello, and some either sours mix, which you would get at your local grocery store, potential liquor store, or you can use lemonade, which is what I use today. So what do you think of the drink?
Really good. I loved it. Yeah. For the summer, it's nice and light.
It's light, exactly. It has a light flavor, and it's actually going to go well with our lemon pesto pasta salad. So are you ready to sample?
Lemon pesto pasta salad?
Lemon pesto pasta salad. You like that? Yay. All right, so I'm going to move these aside. And I'm going to bring out the plates. Oh, look at Shawn. Shawn, a little helper. Thank you, Shawn. And now the moment of truth. I'm very big about the moment of truth, in case most of you don't know. I like to see the reaction. I'm all about the sampling.
And I like being honest.
Oh, we have a candid one, Dr. Craig.
Ooh, not me. I will lie.
All right. So sample. Let me know what you think, how you feel. Go with the pasta salad since you actually haven't tasted that.
It looks good. I want to try the pasta salad.
Pretty good. Fresh pesto.
It's so good. I just want to keep eating
okay,
it.
thank you.
Really
Okay.
yum.
All right, can you move on to this? You already tried these though. They tried them offset. Can you try the slider for me? Can you try the meatball slider, please?
I've never had a fried meatball before, so I'm curious to see what it's like. And I feel like
Delicious, juicy. I like it. Very good. Very juicy.
unreal.
I like the
Unreal.
bread.
Oh, an unreal. Yeah, the bread.
Sean did a great job with the bread.
Trying to do the great job with the bread.
Try it.
How did you feel about the meatball, Craig?
It's good. It's really juicy. I said it's really good. Yeah, definitely.
Thank you.
Try it.
Thank you. All right, this has been an awesome day. I'm so glad that Shawn and Craig could join me. And this is Jen Heasley, Cooking with the Pros. And remember, the question you ask is, who do you want in your kitchen on game day? Me, you guys.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, take care. See you soon.